Hello, everyone, and happy Monday. Hope everyone is having an exciting week. A great start to the week. Tonight on Salvi Supporting Salvis, we have OBE Amaya joining us. And he's a Salvadorian talent. He's very amazing with the lyrics that he writes. That's him in the background, performing his song. And we're very happy to have him on the show. And if you do have any questions, always feel free to leave them in the section there below. So we're just going to accept him. Sent him a request for him to join us. And I apologize if I'm looking down. I'm just using my phone to keep up with his videos. Hi, how are you doing?
Good, how you doing? Nice to meet you.
I was just telling them if I'm ever looking down, it's because I'm just fixing the song on the music in the background.
Okay. I appreciate, you having me on your show.
No, for sure. I'm so honored that you're here to participate and spend your time with us here. So tell us about yourself. I introduced your name, but you can say it better yourself. You can tell us about your name, how it started, and just your overall journey.
Okay. Well, I go by OBE Amaya as of recent. I used to just go by OB, but I figured I needed a little bit more to my name to add a little bit more authenticity. So that's why I adopted Amaya, which is my grandmother's maiden name.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from the DMV. If you don't know, that's right outside. Well, that's DC, Maryland, Virginia, but I'm from the Maryland side, right outside of DC.
Yeah.
First generation Salvadorian American. Just trying to make something happen. With the rap.
Exactly. Yeah. So I was actually going to talk to you about that. So, when you listen to your music, it's like we can tell, like anybody that listens to your music, that you take a lot of time, that your talent is completely in, what you write and how you like. It's not like you just like you put a lot of craft and a lot of planning into what you write. And I feel like right now there's a lot of different type of music. Like there's trap music, which everything talks about like sex and rap and like drugs and just that type of like environment. But you come on and you're bringing this different perspective. I mean, it's almost like a comparable, not in an offensive way, but almost like a spoken word, which takes a lot of talent. Right. It's very raw. Okay. You have to write it out, and it's something that I've been to a few open like events that they do spoken word, and it's like poetry, and it's mind-blowing because every line, it's just like you're giving us a different piece of your life, a different story. So just tell us about your writing process and how that goes for you.
So you're right. I take a lot of time into my lyrics only because I feel like it's incomplete if I don't. Mm-hmm. I was writing a 16 bar verse for like 3-4 hours just because it wasn't where I wanted it to be. That song I have behind you right now.
Yeah.
Like I started writing that song in my car on my commute to work. So I'd start like reciting like one bar in my head, 2, 3, 4 bars. And I'd memorize like 8 bars on my commute to work and on my way to work and on my way home from work.
Yeah.
I'll take those 8 bars, for example, and then just start writing to it. So I'll start not writing and then I'll start writing, if that makes sense. So there's like different ways that I approach depending on how the beat feel. Like sometimes like on trap beats, it's just so much easier for me just to like kind of freestyle it. It's funny because you spend a lot of time with like my lyrics. Sometimes it's quick, sometimes it's like 3-4 hours for one verse.
Yeah. Is it say that it's depending on the message that you're trying to get across? Like, is that like, do you find that that's what kind of changes the speed of your writing? So if it's a song that like something that's very emotional, because you also write about how you're doing this not for the money, that it's not because you want to get famous, like that's not the intent behind your words.
Yeah.
Perform, which is something that is very uncommon with artists today, right? Because we all have that, you can do it to get your name big, but in your lyrics you talk about how it's bigger than that. And I don't know, like, fair to say that you write quicker if it's something that I guess is more like general, more we talk about, like if it's like a song de perreo or party or something. Like, you know, it's just easier because there's not much like thought behind it. It's just something that we all kind of, you go to a party, you don't really think much about it, you just kind of go.
I think it just also depends like where my head's at the time. Like if I, you know, if the beat hits right and it catches me in the right, you know, state of mind, then it's like easier for me just to like, okay, you know, talk about a situation or just kind of elaborate on my, you know, my thinking patterns for like
But yeah.
past few days. So it's just like quick. But like for today, I'm doing this cipher verse for one of my boys.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I get creative. I'm like, okay, I want to take my time and like really like break this thing down into like my syllable counts and like where
Yeah.
I start rhyming like this, and you know what I mean? Like that's like fun for me. You feel me? Like
Yeah.
that's when I really have the most, like when I can really be intricate with my words. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So it did.
That's
Sorry.
mhm. No, I said that's like the fun part for me for sure.
Yeah, the writing is the fun part. I guess like yeah, you, because I can tell with my story that I was more of a singer before I was a writer. I just didn't think that that was something that was in me. Like I was just performing other people's songs, and it came a point where I was listening to these songs and I would, you know, just as you say, like come home from work and I'd come up with like a little hook and I'm like, "Hey, I can actually like maybe I can write. Maybe it's just about pushing yourself and actually, you know, learning how to like put your thoughts into words." So for me, that's my story. And any advice that I give someone is just, you know, you can do a lot more than you think you can do, right? So like I feel like always underestimate what we're capable of. I was strictly just a singer. I was not a writer. But now, and obviously there's people that have been doing it for so long and have, there's different, I guess, like criteria, and you have to give credit to people that have been doing it for so long. But what advice would you give to an artist that's trying to, you know, thinks about, you know, doing music or even starting with writing lyrics?
Just be you. It's so much easier to be yourself than to kind of like mimic what you see on social media. Um, because sometimes you can get lost, you know, in the status quo and like what's going on, and like you feel like that's what people want to hear. So then you start trying to sound like such and such person, and then you kind of lose yourself, and then that's when it becomes difficult for you to refine yourself, if you
Yeah.
will. Um, so you know, just kind of keep true to yourself. I mean, that's pretty cliche, but um, it's just like the most simplest advice that I can give you. Just kind of like
Yeah.
whatever, you know, provoked you to feel a certain way, just talk about that, or you know what I'm saying, just
Yeah.
kind of like find your truth. Like I
Yeah.
had a bar that I said today, I was like for me, for example, you know, life in general is tough, you know. So I had this bar where I was like, I decipher my life through my metaphors. So almost like I decipher my life through what I put on the page. It's like sometimes it's like decoding yourself. You feel me?
Yeah.
It's you break yourself down into these words, and then you're like, oh shit, I just told a story about how I felt about this situation,
Yeah.
or how I feel about my future, and then you start understanding yourself more.
Mm-hmm.
So again, stay true to yourself, and you'll definitely learn something about yourself.
Yeah, I think that is the hardest part, you know. It's learning to be vulnerable and learning that, you know, it's not, a lot of people think that, you know, when you start writing music it just comes to you, but it takes you to a place that if you're not ready for it, like that's what I understand what you mean, like be yourself, because if you're not ready for it, you'll be influenced and you'll be scared of your own thoughts.
Yeah,
Be like, I'm done with this. I can't do this. But that's why I agree with you that the first step to becoming or doing, whether it's an artist or doing anything that you want to do in life, whether it's, you know, starting a business, going to school, like you have to truly know your priorities, what you stand for, and all of those beliefs and what you believe in before you can, you know, deep dive into how am I going to get a plan going? How am I going to get this going? Because even for myself, like it's like you deal with some revealing, like you feel some different emotions that you've never felt before, right? So with me, like I was just like, I don't know, like now I guess with this music, it's a different atmosphere. It's a different way that I'm putting myself out there as I was before, like more to myself. So
yeah.
it, but it's true. Staying true to yourself is probably the most important thing, like even with anything that you do.
It's crazy because like I went like 2 3 years. It's crazy because when I started rapping, like when I was in my earlier like 20s, I just turned 29 by the way. Uh,
God, you
like
look young.
you said what?
You look so young.
I know,
Yeah.
and that's out too. I might probably
Yeah.
have to. Um, when I started like making music, when I started taking like more seriously, I started like shutting everything off. Like I would like not listen to anything that was hot. And this was like when Drake came out with like Views and
Mm,
whatever was happening during that time. It's like when I started like shutting everything off, like the radio, like
yeah.
anything popping at the time. I just like listened to my 90s hip hop,
Hmm.
and then I just got like in tune with it. I was
Hmm.
like, what I want to sound like. This is the type of music that I want to make. So I'm gonna and not get like, influenced by what's going on right now, because then I'm gonna like kind of, deviate from where I want to go, you
Hmm.
know.
Hmm.
So that's, again, it's like sometimes you need to, I guess, just isolate yourself and just
Yeah.
like, not all the time, but like
Hmm.
try to find yourself in a sense. You feel
No,
me?
I agree. Yeah. I feel like even when you watch artists and they do interviews, they're always like, who inspires you? Like, who do you try to be like? And
Hmm.
and that's what makes people different. Like, everybody has something different, everybody has a different talent. I've been asked multiple times, who are you trying to be? Are you trying to be like Nati Natasha? Are you trying to be Carol G? And I'm like, no, I'm just trying to be me, whatever that entails, however you take it. And yeah, so that is something that if anybody here is watching, I think is a big message. And it's something that, should be shared more often, because I think there's a lot of comparison in the
Yeah.
world, and comparison can really ruin you because, you look at other people, what they're doing and their music, and it becomes, you don't enjoy it. It becomes something that's like competitive. And that's what I'm trying to do here with the Salvi supporting Salvis is, your success does not undermine my success. Like, if one of us makes it, we all make it, because I feel like the Salvadorian culture is just very undervalued. Like, there's not a lot of, positivity, and a lot of people don't really know about it, especially growing up here in Canada. I would say I'm from El Salvador, and people would be like, where is that? So
Oh,
yeah, it was always just like, you're from Mexico, you're from Colombia, you're anything but El
that,
Salvador.
that's crazy because where I'm from,
Hmm.
like everyone's from El Salvador over here. It's crazy. Like the DMV, like if you think about like New York, Puerto Rico, Dominicans up there, like the DMV is El Salvador. It's
Yeah.
crazy. That's what I told you. Like if you ever come down here, you're gonna feel just like home, because like there's like pupusa places, there's like Salvadorian restaurants everywhere you go. Um, I'm from like a small town, Wheaton, Maryland, which is like 5-10 minutes from the DC, like the DC line.
Yeah.
Um, and even DC, Virginia, Salvadorian everywhere. Um, and we're like kind of like coming up, this area in general, like not just Salvadorians or Latinos, but the whole music scene in this area is kind of like moving upwards, um,
Hmm.
because everybody is starting to realize that you gotta support. You know what I'm saying? You can't just kind of like brush people off, because that's not how you build. You build as a team. You build as
Hmm.
a, more than individual. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So over here, for sure, um, we're starting to realize that we're starting to help each other out. Not even like artists, but like I have friends that cook. They do like meals, like meal prepping. We just kind of like repost their stuff, or
Yeah.
friend of clothing line, so we're gonna wear their stuff. Like for example, right here, one of my good friends, Isai, he's a Salvadorian too.
Hmm.
Got free. So we're starting to understand that more. You feel
Hmm.
me?
Yeah.
It's the thing, because now we're starting to really like make noise. You feel me? Like there are artists around here that are really starting to make noise, and it's great.
Mhm. Yeah, that's so interesting and like amazing to hear, because like it's pretty consistent, I guess, like in the conversation that I've had with my parents, who were raised and born and raised in El Salvador, and they just tell me how, their la cultura, it's for us, we for some reason lean towards different places. Like, we just support other Spanish people, but we don't support ourselves. And
Mm,
that was something that thankfully, connecting with people from all over the globe, like for example for yourself, like it wasn't never like I'm not going to support you type of thing. So to see progress and for you to see it firsthand, like that's amazing news, and that's something that it's a completely different perspective than what I've kind of learned from here. in Canada, because in Canada there's like whereabouts I live, there's not that many like Spanish people, and it's and growing up, like I didn't grow up with a lot of Salvadorian people, so I was even kind of I shied away from that. It was just something that, you know, in
Hmm.
the house it was something that existed, but outside I felt like I needed to be different. So to hear that, you know, there is a big community, and it goes back to, you know, who you're surrounded with and just, you know, the upbringing that you have.
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel like the DMV is almost like in terms of like a densely Hispanic populated region. It's like LA or Houston. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
just like especially like I said, the Salvadorians. We're out here for sure.
Mhm. Yeah. So what do you feel like being a Salvadorian artist? Like, do you feel that makes you different, or do you just like because there's some that say they're from here and rep their country, or there's others that are just like, I'm an artist. Like, how do you make yourself, like, do you feel that that is a part of your brand? Like, do you take pride in that, or are you just, I'm Obi?
No, for sure, and that's exactly why I adopted the Amaya to my again. That is a name that came from. I believe it originated from Spain.
Mhm.
The whole like research on it, but there's a lot of people with that name in Central America, and I felt like that also could help me connect. And again, that is part of my brand,
Yeah,
rifle from from my culture and where I come from for sure.
yeah.
Um, and help like being a El Salvadorian,
Hmm.
like I love it because people when they see me, they don't even think I'm from El Salvador. They think I'm from different parts of Latin America, and I'm like, no, I'm Salvadorian.
Yeah.
It always catches them off guard. And to be honest, like I like it because
Hmm.
um, it kind of sheds like a light on us, and like, yeah, I'm from there. I'm proud, and you feel me? Like we got talent too. We got skill. We got singers. We got chefs. We got
Hmm.
rappers. I know a handful of rappers out here. Not a handful, a lot of rappers out here that are from El Salvador, and they're really good.
Hmm.
Um, and one of my favorite rappers are from out here too. So, you know, it's dope.
Yeah, that's amazing to hear. And how do you find, have you been making connections with Salvis in LA and, you know, around the globe, or do you find that where you are situated in Maryland, that's where, you know, it can be the central place, you know? Because if that's where most of the people are, like the Salvis, we can find them, then, you know, would you say that's the place where, you know, where we can have an upcoming star?
Well, the plan is to definitely build from home.
Hmm.
Um, I love where I'm from, DMV.
Yeah,
Like I said, it's like where my people are at. So I definitely and I've gotten a lot of support out here for sure. Like a lot of people really rocking with me out here, not just Salvadorians, but a lot of people. And so with that, I definitely want to build from here, and then obviously like expand to like Houston. I got family out there, which I want
yeah.
to connect with Hispanics out there. LA, definitely the Southwest for sure.
Hmm.
Um, people Philly, New York. I get a lot of plays from up north too, which is cool.
Yeah.
So definitely for sure. Probably got to take a page out of your book and just connect, a little bit better because I feel that's where I could be a little bit more stronger in my networking as far as like in different markets for sure.
Yeah, I feel, yeah, that was the next topic that I was hoping we could talk about, which is the marketing, right? Because to me, it sounds like there's so much, you know, like a strong fan base in the DMV where you're from. And I feel that, you know, if we can grow that connection, it would
Mm.
be even greater, you know, the effect that we could have like globally because at the end of the day, like even though they're like I don't consider them fans, I consider them supporters. And that's artists that come from all over the globe. And I think that, you know, connections are huge. Social media is a great way to connect with people. And yeah, to any artist that's watching, I would just say that, you know, you never know. You can send the message to, like, you have to be, I think, like, if you're doing anything in life, especially if you're doing music, you just have to be open that people will say no and people will think things about you. You know, people are going to be like, she's annoying, she's this, she's that. And as long as, you know, you're true to yourself, you know what you're doing it for. If a few people don't like what you're doing, that shouldn't be enough to really stop you. I don't think ever.
Sorry,
Especially
somebody was
like
like, "Wait."
ourselves, as like you talk about your grandma, right? How your grandma was like a major influence. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Like how, like, was she the reason that you grew up? Like, did you grow up speaking Spanish? Like, how was your upbringing?
So growing up, like I grew up with my stepmother and my father. And then growing up, they're like strict. I couldn't watch TV from Monday to Thursday. Like that
Oh my.
was yeah, it was strict. So I was big into soccer. So I'd grab my soccer ball,
Yeah.
play outside. I was big with playing outside. And I was when I was little, I was for damn sure I was like I'm gonna become a soccer player. Like that was like my big dream. Um, because Major League Soccer just started coming up, and I was like, oh, I want to play for DC United. Like that was like my ultimate goal in life when I was 10. Um, but my government name is Elvis. A lot of people don't know that. Like my father, yeah, after Presley.
Where does Obi come from? We know
So
the.
my name is Obed Serpas. So
Wait,
Obed.
that connection was off. What did say it from the beginning, please?
So my full name is Elvis Obed Serpas. Obed is my middle. That's where Obi comes from.
Oh,
It's a so so that's where Obi comes from. Amaya, like I said, comes from my grandmother, which is very dear to me because, like I said, she taught me about prayer. She taught me how to like be very spiritual. She was the one that opened that door for me to become very spiritual.
yeah.
So that's definitely like, spirituality is very like that's something I'm really into now that I'm an adult and I'm trying to pursue this whole music thing because I feel like again music is all about what's inside and I'm very in tune with my spirituality and whatnot. So that's where that comes from. But again, when I was small, like soccer was just everything for me.
Hmm. So where was the transition point to writing? If you were, you were determined, I'm going to be a soccer player. And I feel like, writing and, just being a part, playing sports and, that preoccupying like all of your time. When was the moment that you said, I'm going to put the ball maybe aside for now and I'm going to, pick up the pen and start writing?
That was probably about like 17, 18, when I figured that soccer was probably not going to happen. It's crazy because I walked into like a few of my homies like recording in their room. There was like a friend of a friend. We went to like his house or whatever, and then I was like, "Oh, you guys are recording yourselves. This is vicious. Like, you have a fucking studio in your house." Like when that was like 2009, 2008, and I was
Yeah,
like, "Yo, this is crazy to me. Like, how do you guys do this?"
yeah,
So then the opportunity to record, and that was like trash. Like I used to record in Spanish. Like I used to strictly just record in Spanish because they would make reggaeton. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it too.
yeah,
But then when I like this, I want to take it seriously. Like let me do it in English because I'm a little bit more fluent in English.
yeah,
So that's when I went back, studied a lot of '90s hip hop because that's what the type of music that I wanted to make. So like again, I went back to the Nas, the early Jay-Z, the Wu-Tang Clan, especially the Tribe Called Quest, um, Big L, Big Pun. And I just studied. Like I bought like all the CDs and shit. Like this is like before like I was big on like iTunes and all
yeah,
that. So I had this old like 2000 Civic where I had like a bunch of CDs and I would just like put different CDs in and just like every single day. Like my girl at the time would like not listen to anything that was popping. If she was in my car, she was listening to '90s hip hop. Um, so that's where I was for a while. It's like, yo, I'm gonna take this seriously and I'm gonna study. And if I'm not going to school, like I'm gonna study this shit like it's a textbook. You feel me? Like
yeah.
I'm really serious, and that's what I did.
But yeah, and you can tell like with your lyrics, like it doesn't seem like it's just like obviously it seems like it came natural to you, but it doesn't feel like there's any point where you're just kind of unsure or there's something that you wrote just to write it, which some songs it's like you hear it on the radio and you're just like, I don't know what the person was thinking when this song came out. It's just like, I don't know, like I don't really know why this song is popular, but and I think, a lot of people appreciate that and you have had the success that you've had because, you've studied and with everything that you do, like if you want to be successful, it does take the time. It does take years of practice of mastering your own skills and just really you know, becoming who you are and becoming the artist that you want to be.
Oh, for
So
sure.
yeah, so where do you see yourself in like a few years, minus COVID years? We can just subtract COVID as a year because
Well, thinking short term, like within like 2 years, I really want to be more popping, like obviously on the internet, because nowadays you can't really perform much. So
yeah.
definitely make um, presence online,
Hmm.
putting content and developing a solid fan base. I feel like I have I have like supporters that really ride for me right now, and I
Yeah.
feel like it, you feel me, if my music gets to the right hands, you feel me.
Hmm.
So years I want to be a little bit more present in hip hop.
Yeah, for sure. And also your music videos, they're amazing quality. It's amazing production. So, you know, you keep going like that. One video has to take off. You know, like it seems like everything is planned. It's just like art, you know, the music itself is art and then you put the music, the video together. Like it's just a great piece that you're putting out. So I see why you have those, you know, ride or die fans because they know when you bring something, it's going to be like, oh, it's a new track. Like it's something good, you know?
Yeah,
So
it's crazy because like one of my
try to sorry.
friends, Angel, I
Hmm.
said it's crazy. 'Cause my good friends, Angel, is actually the one behind all those videos. And I met him like 2 years ago. And he was just like, it's crazy because like I'm a huge law of attraction believer. So I feel like if you put energy into something and you really push for it,
Yeah.
it's track things that are going to help you move forward, right?
Hmm.
So not things, but also relationships, people. Um, and I met my boy Angel, my boy Marvin, my engineer, um, within the last 2 years. And that was because I was going really hard. Like I put out Drip, my first video with one of my other homies, and it started getting traction, started getting some type of like attention. And so I met Angel. You know, we had a photo shoot. He was like, "Y'all like your music? Let's work." And from there, it was just like a, you know, what I'm saying, like a partnership. Like we started just like collaborating with each other because he believed
Yeah.
in me. You know,
Hmm.
his work, his photography skills, and his videography skills. And that's why I've been putting out so much content is because of him. And also, like I said, my boy Marvin, which is
Hmm.
my engineer, that I met like 2 years ago, which is like, so it's like Angel and Marvin are like my right and left hand when it
Yeah.
comes. So
Yeah.
shout without them, I probably wouldn't be with, you know, talking to you right now.
Hmm. It's so interesting that you talk about, you know, the law of attraction and everything because I think that it's a big part of, I guess, overall happiness, you know, because it's the energy that you put out, it's the energy that you know, share with people. And, you know, if you're not in a good place when you meet people, people can feel that. And
Yeah,
it's not because, you know, things aren't going your way or that, or, you know, there's all personal reasons, but it's about like controlling your own thoughts. And I believe the like the law of attraction, like that's what it is, you know, essentially you're controlling what you think, controlling how you go about things. And yeah, like I think if anybody's watching this, there's I learned about the law of attraction through the Secret, the book. I'm
hmm
not sure if that's how you came across it, but it is life changing. Is it the same thing? The Secret?
yeah. Did you watch it or you read it? Because there's
I
a series
watched
called,
it. Yeah, there was a book at first, and then I watched the movie, which was good too.
Mhm.
But I also
Yeah,
want to talk about how you know, I noticed that you proposed to your fiance now. So how do you manage the work and life balance? Because I think like regardless of the job that you're doing, that is a constant struggle that people anywhere, you know, someone could take a hand from that.
hmm well, definitely, you know, because how I feel about her. Obviously, that's why, you know, I proposed to her.
Yeah,
She's the most loyal and most understanding person that I've ever met.
yeah,
Um, and she understands what I'm trying to do. She hasn't ever been like, no, you can't go do this, you can't do that.
yeah,
Um, so again, like it's crazy because like I had a conversation with a good friend of mine. He's a chef, and he said he had like different relationships, but he could never find the right woman because he'd come home late and he smelled like food, like fish and whatever. So he married someone that was in the kitchen that would understand why he came home late and why he smelled like food. So what I'm trying to say is like this girl is like just amazing. She understands what I'm trying to do, where I'm headed,
Yeah.
and not lets me be, but also gives me the right advice
Mm-hmm.
sonically and with my fashion, because she's a fashion major, so she definitely knows about like what's hot and what's not.
Yeah.
um and like again, she just understands like you know what it takes. And like sometimes like we don't talk for hours, and that's because like you know I'm in the studio, you know,
Yeah.
working on a song. And she's like a ride or die. So definitely, I mean, I've been with her since high school, you know. And it's been and you know it happened because it was supposed to happen for sure.
Yeah, no, that's amazing to hear because, it's always you need to have someone like I believe God puts people in your life, people that will understand, people that support you, and it goes bigger than like I feel like that's why sometimes, you feel lonely, like you have all these things, but when you manage to get to where you want to be, it's always important to have people that you love around you because then you have everything, but you feel like you have nothing. So, finding that person and having someone that, understands you is a great blessing. And I applaud you for that. And I'm very happy for both of you. And I hope that the wedding photos with your photographer Angel come out amazing. I'll be waiting for them. But that's amazing to hear because especially when you look at the big screen or just people with demanding jobs, like time consuming jobs, there's sacrifices that you have to make. And if you have a person that understands you and doesn't get offended by what the nature of
Mhm.
your job, I would say, yeah, why would you let them go?
And I feel honestly like that's what love is. It's like selflessness. You feel me? It's like understanding that okay, your partner is doing XYZ. Hold on, sorry, my dog.
It's okay.
That's why I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Um, what was I saying?
You
Um,
having people in your life.
yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
I was saying that that's what love is. I think it's just selflessness. And just help, you know, kind of like not getting out of the way, but like
Yeah.
apoyándola, you know what I'm saying? So they can be what they, you know, what they're destined to be. You know, you're not holding them back from any blessings. You're not, like I said, deviating them. You're kind of just pushing them forward. You feel me? And then
Yeah.
that in turn makes you a better person, makes you a better lover, better friend. Um, and it's just like everybody wins. You feel me? It's like why not like be there for your partner? Why not like be your girlfriend, boyfriend's biggest fan? You feel me? Like why not? You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
I don't know. That's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, it is. And it's the selfless love, right? Like for example, you look at, the parents that you get, the love that you get from your family, your parents, like they have put sacrifice so much, to put you where you want to be. And just having someone that, you can find someone that loves you unconditionally. It's just an amazing feeling. And I'm so happy for you.
Yeah.
I'm very, yeah. So we're just going to the comments. I'm going to see if anyone is saying hello or if anyone has any questions. Yeah,
San
everyone's just
Francisco.
legs. Your song is fire. Don't worry about COVID. I know. How do you feel? What is like next steps for COVID? I have no idea. Like, what's it like where you are? Like for us, we're still here,
I
locked
mean,
up in
look,
quarantine.
I think that if everybody plays their part,
Yeah,
um, if we could see some progress. I know there are people that are really afraid of it, people that don't believe it's real, but regardless of how you feel, something is going on, and
yeah,
there is remedy. If it's not an actual vaccine, it's everybody playing their part. You feel me? Like
yeah,
just wear a mask. You feel me? Just follow the rules, and we'll be all right. You feel me? Like
yeah,
it'll take time, of course, but again, everybody has to contribute. Everybody has to,
yeah.
like I said, play the part, and you know, we'll see. We'll see what
Exactly.
happens.
I know it's COVID's been a crazy time. Like it just shows how, some people like for the safety of all of us, like some people would just rather kind of put their selfish ways on top of everything that's going on because like you said, we don't really know what's going on. Like there is a virus, but some people are scared and some people are just kind of over the whole thing. But I saw this post online. It's like the virus isn't over because you're over it, which is I think the most relevant thing, because a lot of people are just like, I'm tired of this. I'm not wearing my mask anymore. And
Yeah.
like maybe you'll be blessed. Maybe you won't get sick, but someone that could get sick because of your selfishness and being irresponsible. So as long as I hate wearing the mask, but I still wear it just to be
Right.
safe, keep
No, I
everybody
hear
safe, keep a bigger picture in mind. Like this is just temporary, and
you.
everything going through, and hopefully next year is better, bigger blessings.
For sure. And I think it's, quarantine was, a gift and a curse, I think for everybody. I think, I know for me, it kind of like had me reflect on a lot of things and
Yeah.
kind of, just, um, sorry, my boy from Paraguay. Shout out my boy Hernan. He's like one of my best friends. He lives in Paraguay. Shout outs. He was like asking him about the attic days.
What is
Yeah,
that?
he was there when we were talking about it. So that's when I was talking about like he was one of them that was making music. And one
Oh,
of our boys.
oh, the home video.
Yeah.
It was
So
in the.
that was technically attic, but it was a room.
Oh,
But yeah, he was definitely one of my inspirations to get into music. And my boy Luigi down there too. They used to make music, and shout outs to them.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah. No, you were talking about quarantine and self-reflection.
oh yeah, for sure. Like I said, this past quarantine, I believe, was a time to, like I said, self-reflect and like put things in perspective and um, just kind of recalibrate. I think
Yeah,
because it's so fast paced. We have our jobs, schools, some people have kids.
yeah.
Um, Everything is just moving so fast, and I think to slow down the pace, it was a good time to like I said, recharge and just
Hmm.
refocus. So I hope everybody took advantage of that.
Hmm.
Obviously not, but spiritually and mentally for sure.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. It kind of forced you to really think about, your daily routine, because that was all stripped away from us, right? Like everything that was
Hmm.
normal, like completely out of question. So you had to create your own normal. You had to kind of think about, what am I going to do today? Like what inspires me? What is going to get me out of this mood?
Hmm.
Like I'm not doing anything. So for me, it was, writing and just kind of, thinking about long-term goals. And I think that's the greatest success to anyone's like quarantine, thinking for the future instead of thinking like day by day, which I
Yeah,
think is a great tip for anybody that's watching, whether it's for, your music, your career, your school. Like pain is just temporary. Just think about long-term goals. And that's how I keep my mental health okay, just because, it is hard. Like if you set, like it's okay to set daily goals, but I think like short-term, long-term goals are just kind of keep your head activated, your thoughts activated, and you have bigger pictures in mind instead of, I'm just gonna go to work, come home, and just chill all day.
yeah, for sure. I believe in breaking things down and creating
Yeah,
a system, having good
yeah,
habits.
yeah.
There's a time where I was just like, I don't know if you saw my post a few days ago, where I was just like kind of like reflecting on a lot of things, and I was like, oh, I changed my alias, and I had these thoughts of like quitting music and stuff like that. But it was only because I wasn't, um, like I said, I wasn't like doing the things that I was doing before. Like I fell into this like downward spiral of like bad habits, like
Yeah,
not going to the every day, not eating right. Like these little things like really propel you to be like a more efficient person.
yeah,
Um, So again, having good habits and staying disciplined for sure with whatever
yeah.
you're doing for music, being a parent, you
Hmm.
know, here, like I said, you got to take care of yourself, take care of your body, your mind, your
Yeah.
spirit.
Yeah, because I think that's the most important, like the connection between like your body and like what you're thinking. Like it's just, like if you think like you could have like the best outfit on, you could have the best, ever styled like head to toe. But if you're not feeling that way and you're just mentally not there, like all of that just doesn't matter. So, taking care of your mental health is a top priority, and I hope that You know, I feel like that's a good way to connect with people, like whether, you know, you're trying to connect with people more and just, you know, you sharing that post just, you know, creates more of a connection with your
Mm.
followers because
Yeah,
it's
a lot of people
you know,
about that
yeah,
actually.
exactly because it you know, like we look at your videos, we look at your music and we're like, yo, he's got it down, like he's fine. But then you
Yeah.
coming out and saying something like that, like, whoa, like I guess it happens. Like it happens to everyone.
you know, for
Yeah.
sure. Hmm.
But do you have any projects coming up before we, you know, head out from the chat or any
Um,
like to share
um,
with us? Or are you just kind of on wraps for 2020
I'm
for the rest
always
of the
working.
year?
I got songs, you know, I definitely got songs in the vault. I'm just like now after dropping my debut project in early March, I believe, April. Um,
Yeah, you're
I learned a lot about like how to like package things in terms of like how to put songs together sonically, and everything from the marketing, keeping it aesthetically pleasing, a lot of things. So, like I said, I have songs. I'm just trying to piece it together where it's something that was worth the wait. You feel me?
yeah,
The name, the concept, like the whole business plan behind it,
yeah,
beats, you know, what songs are going to make it, what songs aren't going to make it. Definitely have a video coming out soon. It's definitely one of my best verses that I've ever written. Well,
yeah,
I didn't now, but the best, definitely my favorite flows that I've created ever are going to be in this next video that I'm going to release. I don't know when I'm going to release it. It's
mhm,
definitely something that is going to be more culturally impactful because you'll see why with the visuals.
yeah,
Um, but definitely, like I said, I'm just piecing things together right now because I'm a big like detallista. I really like to put things together the way I feel is best for the consumer, the
yeah,
supporter.
yeah. No, that's amazing to hear. Yeah, we have some
Hmm.
people saying that you are the Rich Brown Love is saying that you're the best rapper that I've met in the DMV area, living here for 13 years. So let's have your support now. We
Yeah.
have Chuck.
What's up, Rich Brown? The homie,
Yeah,
homie. We need that OB and Melly track, DMV to Toronto. Oh,
yeah,
that's coming soon.
track.
No, they don't know that yet.
Using maje así solo de ayúdame a limpiar mi carro.
No bullshit. I need to clean my car too.
Leave it to Travis to always try to start something up. What's up, guys? That's Oye Latino has just logged in. There, you can also connect with them as well. Like we also, I always post on my page of the I guess the pillars that are trying to connect the Latino community here in Toronto, especially. So you know, you can always reach out. My following, I'm always posting you, reposting you, and you know, we do. Um, Different outlets here that are trying to support the Latino community, and I believe that regardless if you're here in Toronto or if you're where the DMV where you are, Latinos are Latinos, and you know, always feel free to reach out, connect with them. You know, say
Sure.
I'm Ellie, we know this. Like it's just, you know, it's I'm hoping to open opportunities for, you know, my fellow Salvis, for fellow artists, and they all kind of have the same intention to unite Latinos, and I think that's just amazing. And I see that's what I see the future for Latinos is being more united and being more connected more than ever and using social media to connect everyone. And it's not just like you live here and you know you got to stay there. Like you're technically here in Toronto with the audience in Toronto and I'm in the DMV like thanks to
Of
social media.
course.
So yeah, thank you so much for coming on the show. I will be posting this on my page. So if you know you want to repost it or if you want to share it with anybody, um,
Absolutely. Can you send it to me?
I will send
Can
it
you?
to you.
Okay, cool. I appreciate you having me, Melly. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. I was so excited when you said yes. You know, we had to plan because of the schedules, but you know, it all
Yeah,
worked.
I
Happy.
had an had yeah, I had a lot of things.
Yeah. Also, oh my gosh, you have like some good lines that you can make some really good merch with. Like you know how Drake started like the OVO, like YOLO kind of stuff? Like you in your lyrics, like you have certain things that I'm just like listening and I'm like, oh wait. Like you could actually put that here. Like you have you thought of making merch? Like I
Kind of, you kind of planted that seed now. You're gonna have to send me some of your favorite lyrics so then I could.
yeah, some lyrics
I'm
that I'm gonna yeah, I will. I'll jot down my favorite ones that I think could
cool.
be, you know, like put on a shirt or something, like just something that, you know, people feel. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually working on my merch now. I kind of finalized my logo, kind of, not really. Just kind of waiting on it, but I already know what it's gonna be. Um, so that's also coming very, very soon. I can't wait for everybody to check it out. It's definitely, uh, it's definitely rooted in our culture. So I hope people that are from Central America and any Latin American country will appreciate it. So that's coming very soon.
Yeah, no, amazing. So I will type those up and I will send you the ones that
Yeah,
I think. But I think like
appreciate
if you put that, like you know, you put your logo and you put just something because then people will want to wear. You know those shirts that like give a message and you just like
it.
don't have to talk. Like you can just read my shirt and it's like today's not the day. Don't talk to me. I'll just wear like an
Yeah,
OB
yeah,
shirt. Yeah. So I think
appreciate it.
that I think that's I don't know. I think that would be a cool idea for you to start up.
Cool.
Oh, look, we already have a first client. Look, when the merch drops, tell me I'm gonna be the first to buy.
Bet, I got you.
But yeah, no, thank you so much for joining, and I hope we can stay in touch. And yeah, I'll be promoting your stuff on both of my pages, and I'm very happy and honored that you took time of your day to spend it with us here on the show, Salvi supporting Salvies.
Absolutely. Like, again, you definitely have a supporter in me. I love your music. I told you this, like I love your voice. You have great talent. You're a great writer. So keep going with what you're doing. And hopefully we'll make some together sometime. So
Yeah, sounds good. All right, thank you.
take care.
All right, you too.
Bye.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. We just chatted with OBE Amaya. He's there in the back. Check out his music. He recently launched his music, his album. Sorry, his he released his album, and it's available on all streaming platforms. He is a Salvadorian artist, and you know he takes pride and he takes a lot of time you know, special allotted time to writing his music, and it's very amazing and it's very touching. So if you guys, you know, are looking to support new music, new talent, new, you know, just a new vibe of music and lyrics, I would recommend checking him out. I will be posting this on my page, so you can always feel free to watch it, and if there was anything that you needed to that you missed or anything that you would like to clarify with either one of us in regards to his music, or as we did talk to you know, reaching out to someone if you feel that like when he posted, you know, something that he was going through, it's something important that, you know, you can always feel free to reach out to people and, you know, talk about your feelings and just anything that you do. Like it's going to be a very emotionally challenging experience, but it'll be worth it. As we can see with him, he feels happiness, he feels content, and that's just he shares off his positive energy, and we're very excited to have him on the show. And I hope that all of you have an exciting evening, an amazing rest of the week. And I will just read the comments if anyone has anything. Yeah, he has to drop his merch. I think that would be really cool. Great interview. Papi Chulo, sometimes Latinos are the future. Yep. Hello. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Have an amazing week and God bless. Bye.